Hey, you want to talk about movement in video games? I've been waiting to talk about this all day. Look, I've got this planned out conversation, and I've got this big long monologue. Come on, let's talk about wall jumps. Okay, so wall jumping is pretty simple and pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you run up to a wall, you jump off it, and you gain a little bit of height. It's based off of wall running and parkour. In video games, it's a little exaggerated, but it's pretty much the same concept. Look, it's got plenty of uses. Need to reach a high-up platform? Wall jump. Need to climb up a weirdly rectangular tunnel? Wall jump. Need to climb up a singular vertical wall in Super Meat Boy specifically? Wall jump. Wall jumping adds freedom to a game's movement system. Without it, walls feel like limits rather than opportunities. It adds flexibility and lets the players express themselves. But where did it all start? Well, I'm glad you asked. The first game to feature wall jumping was Ninja Gaiden, developed by Tecmo. It was released in 1988 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was a good game for its time, but it's pretty sticky by today's standards. That's because sliding down walls literally hadn't been invented yet. I wish I was joking. Of course, wall jumping is pretty much a staple in video games today. Without it, we wouldn't have Celeste, Super Meat Boy, or Claw from Street Fighter. Ugh. But it's only one of the movement options popular in modern video games today. There are so many more. Enter the double jump. So double jumps are a little different from wall jumps. Firstly, no matter how hard you try, nobody can double jump in real life. It just straight up does not exist. It was completely invented by game developers. The concept of the double jump itself is pretty simple. You can jump off the ground just like normal, but when you're still in the air, you can jump again. This can be used effectively as one extra high jump, or puzzles and levels can be specifically designed around having two jumps. Of course, the double jump, like many video game mechanics, started small. It first appeared in a game called Dragon Buster for the Namco Pac-Land arcade system in the year 1984. Fun fact, this actually means that the double jump predates wall jumping in video games by 4 years as far as I can tell. Nowadays, it's just as common too. It's been developed mostly within the genres of 2D and 3D platformers as well as anime fighters. But those damn fighters have one more trick up their sleeve. This brings me to the epitome of abstract mobility in video games. The air dash. While in the air, double tap forward or back to dash in that direction. Or, in certain games, press a dedicated button and dash in whichever direction you're currently holding. It may seem simple, but this revolutionized fighting games. The earliest documented form of the air dash was in the arcade fighting game Darkstalkers: The Night Warriors for the Capcom System 2 arcade hardware. This game was released in 1994, which was a solid decade after the double jump first debuted. This game and the mechanic of the air dash went on to change fighting games forever. For this reason, it's known as the first air dasher. Air dashers are a genre of game defined solely by their use of this mechanic. It might seem like a pointless distinction to make, but movement has a fundamental effect on how a game is played, especially fighting games. In a game like Street Fighter, if your opponent jumps at you, you have a very simple choice to make. You can either anti-air and risk taking damage, or go for the safer and less rewarding block. But in an air dasher, it's never that simple. They could dash behind you and attack, dash away, counter, empty jump throw, the list goes on. The air dash necessarily adds depth to a game, expanding the fighting up and away. The air dash is fast, offensive, and it doesn't create vertical space between you and your opponent, keeping them forever guessing. I think that's about it for this video, so I'll wrap it up now. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Arrivederci.